This is Stormbound Part 2. Bond. Aaron. She was checking me out. I felt the awareness crackle between us like a live wire. The storm outside couldn't compete with the tension simmering in this cabin. Her scent filled the air, wild forest, rain, and something uniquely her, moonlight and heat. It was maddening. Her gaze flicked up, caught my eyes, and she snapped out of whatever thought had trapped her. She stood abruptly, so I followed her lead without a word. We pulled on coats and boots and stepped into the storm. The world outside was a sensory assault. Wet air, the sharp tang of lightning, the hiss of rain soaking everything. My wolf stirred under my skin, alert, restless. At the generator, Maddie crouched down, checking wires with calm efficiency. Stood close by, tense, scanning the tree line more out of habit than necessity. Nothing looked broken. It just wasn't working. And then, without warning, a crack echoed through the clearing. A branch snapped loose from the tree above. "Maddie!" I roared, lunging instinctively. I caught her mid-turn, shoving her aside just as the branch slammed down. She hit the deck hard, knees scraping against the slick wood. I barely registered the sharp impact of my own body slamming into the mud-drenched grass. Air rushed out of my lungs in a gasp. For a long moment I lay there, stunned, blinking up at the angry sky. She was suddenly there, her hands on me, checking frantically. The feel of her skin on mine, even through wet fabric, lit something inside my chest. Her hair was plastered to her face, rain streaming down, and as lightning flashed again I saw her, lit like something out of a dream. She wasn't the pack princess right now. She was just Maddie, and she was scared. I reached for her, and that's when it hit. The moment our skin touched, the spark jolted through me like electricity. She gasped and yanked her hand back, rubbing her chest just over her heart. Her eyes were wide, shocked. I felt it. She felt it. The bond. I couldn't move, couldn't think. Another flash of lightning snapped us both back to reality. Inside now, her voice was tight, commanding. I staggered to my feet. My whole body ached, ribs screaming. The sudden hum in my chest where the bond was settling like a coiled tether drowned out the pain. Inside, Maddie stripped my soaked coat off me without hesitation, muscles tense with efficiency. She shoved me down on the couch. I let her. I couldn't seem to do anything else. I was too focused on the bond, on her nearness, on the awareness that was threading between us now like invisible silk. She tugged my boots free, peeled off my wet shirt, and hissed under her breath. "Is it bad?" I managed. No, not really, but her voice betrayed her. She was rattled. Her eyes roamed over me, slow, tracing every line of muscle, every scar, every inch of skin. When she reached my tattoo, the wolf, mid-run, winding down my arm, she lingered. I felt her gaze like a physical touch. My pulse spiked. My wolf surged, impatient and triumphant. Claim her. No, not like this. She got up abruptly and grabbed the first aid kit, as if she needed the distance to think straight. I felt cold without her. Her hands were sure as she cleaned the shallow cut across my shoulder, fingers brushing skin that felt starved for more. Every contact between us sent small shocks through my body. She didn't mention it. Neither did I. Neither of us could name what had just happened. The bond was there, settling deeper, tighter, irrevocable. Did I want it? The question hit hard. I liked freedom, or at least I thought I did. But I hadn't tried to leave, not once, and now I wasn't sure I could. When she was done, she stepped back. The air felt thinner. "Thank you," I rasped. "Does it hurt?" she asked, eyes flicking to my ribs. "My ribs don't feel great." She arched a brow. "But they'll heal," I added gruffly. My pride wouldn't let me admit how bad it was. A pause. "Do you have any alcohol?" she asked. I blinked. Alcohol? For the shock. I stared at her. "And the cold," she added, eyeing me as if it were apparent. I managed a breathless laugh. "Top shelf." She grabbed the whiskey, poured 2 glasses, and handed me one. Our fingers brushed. The bond sang between us. Neither of us said a word. I downed mine in one swallow. "You're shivering," I said hoarsely, observing her. "I'm fine." She wasn't. Fire, I muttered, more to myself than her, and crouched at the hearth to stack kindling and wood. Every movement hurt, but I forced through. My mate wasn't going to sit freezing because I couldn't build a fire. Another stray thought, another instinct I couldn't push away. When I glanced up, she was still watching me. I met her eyes, forcing myself to ask what I wasn't sure I wanted the answer to. "What are you thinking, Maddie?" She hesitated. "Are you afraid?" Her lips parted, she shook her head slowly, then stopped, unsure. "I don't know," she whispered. "I don't know what I'm supposed to feel." The fire caught, flames leaping between us. "Neither do I admitted softly. But one thing was clear. Whatever this was between us, it wasn't going away. Heart to heart. Maddie. I couldn't take my eyes off him as he built the fire. He crouched by the fireplace, hands sure and steady as he built the fire, layering kindle with quiet focus. Like someone who trusted himself to survive. Of course he was good at this. He could survive anywhere, alone. That had been intense. What happened outside? The storm, the branch. He'd pushed me out of the way, and then it had hit. The thing I told myself I was trying to avoid. The mate bond. My chest felt tight. I gulped back the last of my drink, felt the warmth burn down my throat, fortifying. He sat back on the couch, bringing the bottle and refilling our glasses. So, he left it hanging. Yes? I asked. Maybe if we didn't say it out loud, it wouldn't be true. He shifted closer without seemingly consciously doing it. His scent was tinged with whiskey and a bit wild. That would be one word I'd use if someone asked me to describe Aaron. Wild. I'd built my life on control, on knowing the next step. Suddenly, fate had thrown this man into my path and called him my mate. My wolf accepted it instantly. I didn't. Not yet. Aaron lifted a hand and stroked a finger down my cheek. I shivered, and it wasn't about the cold this time. He pushed my wet hair back, cradled my head, and leaned forward slowly. I could taste the whiskey on his breath before he made contact. He pressed his lips softly to mine. When his lips brushed mine, something inside me unfurled. My wolf hummed in satisfaction. My body leaned into him before my mind caught up. He pulled back first, resting his forehead against mine and just breathing, like he needed to remember how. And in that quiet, I felt safe, which scared me more than the storm outside. "We should eat something, Princess." I blinked. Yes, we should. What have we got? Without power? Protein bars, unless you want to operate the camping stove in the last of the daylight. No, protein bars are fine. We ate our bars, watching the fire and the fading light. I watched him as he chewed, and I wondered, what happened now? How did I get paired with someone like him? He was so different from my previous boyfriends. That thought clanged through me. He wasn't just a boyfriend, he was my mate. Like the rest of my life, bonded to him, mate. What did he expect? I had to know as much as I'd prefer to ignore it. Tomorrow, we'd be back home with the noise of everyone else. "What do we do now?" I whispered. He turned to me. "What do you want to do?" "I don't know. I never imagined I'd end up like this." "Like what?" he asked sharply. "Getting hit with a mate bond in a cabin during a violent storm with a man who lives to rile me up?" "I won't cage you," he said quietly. "You always have a choice with me." And that might have been the kindest thing anyone had ever said to me. "Thank you," I whispered, feeling the depth of what he was saying. "What do we do next?" I asked, looking at his profile. His strong jaw, those soft lips, his deep brown eyes. I would enjoy learning from him. The thought came to me suddenly. "Go to sleep." The side of his lips kicked up in a half smile. "Ha! I meant more in a longer-term sense. My wolf knows exactly what it wants to do next, but—" He paused, taking my hand gently in his. "I know this is a shock. We have time. There is no rush." "I like plans. I like knowing what's coming next," I said. "I get that, Princess, but it's not up to me, is it? Everyone will expect us to just get together, tick, done. What do you want?" "I want to get to know you better." His eyes burned dark. He liked that. "Okay, that's a great start. Let's go to sleep and worry about that bit tomorrow." I nodded and sighed. We both looked at the bed, and I looked back at him. He lifted his hands as if in surrender. Just sleeping, on my word. But he grinned, just enough that I could see the wolf. He had other preferences. We awkwardly took turns in the tiny bathroom. I shivered, as I did my business in a frozen room with the icy water. When I came out, he was already in bed. It was so cold. I had only one thought: get warm. As I settled on my side of the bed shivering, Aaron lay on his side, seeming calm and unruffled. Thunder cracked, loud enough to shake the walls, and I flinched instinctively. "Princess," Aaron's voice rumbled from the dark, soft but firm. "Come here." I hesitated, but another shiver betrayed me. "You're freezing. It'll be warmer here." Is that a line that usually works? I tried to tease, but my voice trembled. "Honey, I don't need lines." His grin curled through the dark, but his tone held no smugness, just warmth. I edged closer, and his arm closed over me, solid, steady, not demanding, just there. His hand rested lightly on my back, the weight grounding me. I let out a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. Maybe, I thought, not entirely awake. Maybe being held didn't mean being trapped. In his arms, I stopped shivering. My heart slowed. This could be the beginning of something safe. Not just because fate said so, but because he might choose me, and I might pick him back. Would it be like this every night? If we could make a happy home like my parents, how might we get from here to there? He reached his hand up and gently brushed my hair off my face. I was too close to sleep to open my eyes. That's all he did. I wondered if Aaron might be a romantic underneath it all. Thanks for joining us for this installment of Stormbound. Check out the next installment next week, or grab the entire story now with a link below.